Hello and good day, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are now on week 7 of our module. The title is all about the operations on radicals. Today, we're going to discuss or focus our lesson on addition and subtraction of radicals. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated with my latest videos. Let's have a short drill. What I want you to do is to determine whether the given terms are like and unlike. I'm going to give you only 10 seconds to answer this. Are you guys ready? Timer starts now. Alright, time's up. Let's try to answer the following. For letter A, we have 4A, 5A, and negative 7A. This is an example of like terms. We have letter B, 5A, negative 6A squared B squared, and 4A cubed B cubed. This one is an example of unlike terms. Letter C, we have 6x, negative 5xy, xy, and 10x. This is an example of unlike terms. Letter D, m squared n, negative 3m squared n, and 6m squared n. This one is an example of like terms. For letter E, we have negative 6p squared, 15p squared, and 4p squared. This one is an example of like terms. And for our last letter, we have letter F, 4 times x plus y times 5 times x plus y squared times x plus y cubed. This one is an example of unlike terms. So, kindly send your answer or your score to our chat box. And let's proceed now with our lesson. What is the difference between like and unlike terms? Like terms in algebra are terms that contain same variables raised to the same power. Only the coefficient of like terms are different. Like terms are added and subtracted in algebra, whereas unlike terms in algebra are terms that contain variables raised to the other power. Unlike terms cannot be added. I want you to observe the following group. In group A, we have square root of 3, 2 square root of 3, and negative 10 square root of 3, up to 24 square root of 6, 84 square root of 6, 0.94 square root of 6. And also group B, we have square root of 5, square root of 5, and square root of 2. We also have 7 fifth root of 8 and 7 fifth root of 10, and so on. So what do you notice? In group A, we call this similar radicals. Just like in algebra, we call this similar terms, but in this case, we're going to call them similar radicals. Remember also that in similar terms, we can add them or subtract them. The same in this group, we can add or subtract the following, since they are similar radicals. In group B, we call this the similar radicals. Why the similar? Because there are some radicals here that are different. Like in this one, we have square root of 5 and square root of 2. The same with this one, square root of 8 and square root of 10. But take note that in this case, these two can be simplified, but then this one isn't. Why? Because again, in radicals, in the similar radicals, we can combine the similar terms. Okay, let's move on. Our lesson for today is all about addition and subtraction of radical expressions. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell before we proceed with our lesson. How do we add or subtract radical expressions? To add or subtract radicals, the indices and what is inside the radical called the radicand must be exactly the same. If the indices and radicands are the same, then add or subtract the terms in front of each like radicals. If the indices or radicands are not the same, then you cannot add or subtract the radicals. Now let's try to apply it in our next slide. Now let's try to apply the rules in adding and subtracting radicals in our example. Suppose we're going to add the following. 2 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 2. Since these are example of like or similar radicals, then we can combine them. So we're going to add 2 plus 3 plus 5. And our answer is 10 square root of 2. Next, we have 5 square root of x plus 6 square root of x minus 3 square root of x. We're going to factor out square root of x, so we have 5 plus 6 minus 3. Then we add it from left to right. 5 plus 6 is 11 minus 3, the answer is 8. Then affix the common term, which is square root of x. So our answer here is 8 square root of x. Next, we have letter C. 13 square root of 5 minus 9 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5. So again, we factor out square root of 5. Then we now have 13 minus 9 plus 3. So 13 minus 9 plus 3 is equal to 7, then affix square root of 5. That is why our answer here is 7 square root of 5. Next, we have letter D. 6 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 6 minus 5 square root of 6. So again, we factor out the common radical here, which is square root of 6. We now have 6 minus 3 minus 5 times square root of 6. Then we simplify it from left to right. 6 minus 3, that is positive 3, minus 5, the answer is negative 2, then affix square root of 6. Our answer now here is negative 2 square root of 6. Let's proceed with the last 3 examples. Let's say we're going to add 4 cube root of 5 plus 8 cube root of 5. So again, we're going to factor out cube root of 5 since they are similar radicals. We now have 4 plus 8 times cube root of 5. What is the sum of 4 and 8? That is 12 cube root of 5. For letter F, we have 10 cube root of 9 minus 4 cube root of 9. Again, we're going to factor out cube root of 9. So that is why we have 10 minus 4 times cube root of 9. What is 10 minus 4? Our answer here is 6 cube root of 9. And for letter E, we have negative square root of A plus 4 square root of A plus 6 square root of B minus 3 square root of B plus 2 square root of B. So just like in our rule, we have to combine similar radicals. If you're going to examine, negative square root of A and 4 square root of A are similar radicals. Also, we have 6 square root of B minus 3 square root of B and 2 square root of B are similar radicals. So we can combine them. That is now negative 1 plus 4 since we factor out square root of A here. And in this part, we factor out square root of B. That's now negative 1 plus 4 square root of A plus 6 minus 3 plus 2 square root of B. Then we simplify. What is negative 1 plus 4? The answer here is 3 square root of A. On the other hand, 6 minus 3 plus 2, that is equal to 5 square root of B. So our answer here is 3 square root of A plus 5 square root of b. This is now our answer since we cannot combine them anymore because they are of different radicals. Okay, so that's all for now. I hope you learned something new and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.